Alright, Lab 6 has 4 questions on it. The first two on the front page focus on the new lecture material, relatively new lecture material anyway, with the vowel characteristics officially introduced. But we've had most of those in your charts the whole time, which was part of the point of having the charts. Alright, so first question has a list of words. The task is to identify the vowel, though I guess I'll probably transcribe the whole word as long as I'm at it, and then give its 4 characteristics in the order that they are usually given when you list out the characteristics for the vowel. So the first word is can. Can with the a vowel in it. It's a terrible version of writing down the a vowel. It have been a and an e connected together. That is in the lower left corner of our chart, which makes it a low front vowel. Also, since it's not in the back side or higher up, it's going to be an unrounded vowel. The tougher bit, because there isn't really a great way to lay it out on the chart or make too much of a rule for it. Actually, I'm lying. I do have kind of a rule for it, is whether it's tense lax. The kind of rule for tense lax is can you have just like a consonant vowel word with no following consonant or not? And for a, we don't. We always have to have another following consonant after it, like we do have in can. Different from maybe a word like play or see. Those vowels where you have to add another consonant are all the lax vowels. Alright, our second word is soul with the O vowel. O vowel's in the middle of our chart on the right, so that makes it a mid-back vowel, and it's in that dashed rounded area. And we do have words like so without the L that we have on soul, so that would make that a tense vowel. The technical definition is really that the thing is louder and longer. The terms tense and lax come from articulatory effort and posture, so you might also be able to kind of feel that as you say it. Third word is pain. Looks like pen, pronounced pain in transcription. That's also mid. It's across from O, but on the front side. We do have words like pay, so that makes that one a tense vowel as well. And all of our English front vowels are unrounded. Next up, we've got rid. Relatively straightforward transcription, straightforward enough that you might do a double take. That is a mid-high, high-mid. I think even the book is somewhat inconsistent about how it does it. I have to go double check my chart. It's probably high-mid. I've probably got it backwards. You won't see both on a multiple choice question, for example, so you don't have to worry about that. It is front. It is a lax vowel. We don't have words like ri or di or bi. At least not yet. Maybe they'll develop in the future in English. And it is unrounded over on the left side in the front column. Next up we have cough. 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 That's an example of that aw vowel that some of you don't have. That is a mid-low or low-mid. I guess maybe I'll go with low-mid this time just to be irregular. It is over in the back. We do have words like caw, the sound made by a crow, or saw or jaw. makes this a tense vowel. You can also hold it for a relatively long time and it doesn't seem really weird. And it is in our rounded section, which includes all the backs except for ah, as well as the that's in the mid-place section. All right, next up we have in worst. If you have just a single syllable pronounced all by itself, it's considered stressed by default, so we get the stressed version of the which is this backwards epsilon with the rhotic diacritic added to it. It's technically called a backward epsilon, but it looks like a 3. All right, that is mid. That is also mid front to back, which the term for that is central. And then tense or lax. We do have words like just were without a consonant on there. So that's a tense vowel. And our rhotic vowels are rounded. Next up we've got beer. That's our ear, our colored vowel sequence. So we transcribe that way. And since that's an I vowel again, it's going to be exactly the same as our other I above. Mid-high, or high-mid, front, lax, and unrounded. Last but not least, should. It's one of those somewhat rare vowel words. That is mid-high, high-mid, but in the back. We don't have a lot of words with in it, but we definitely don't have any like, sh or l or k, like we do with she, li, ki, with an e vowel that's tense. So that makes this guy lax. And in that back, not at the bottom section, we have lots of rounded vowels. Obviously for, quizzes and exams, they're open books, so you could look this stuff up. But of all the things you should probably try to get just off the top of your head from this class, this would be a good one because the clinicians are going to want you to know what these articulations are like for all of these different symbols that we are studying in phonetics. All right, question 2 is a related concept, which is a lot of times when we're dealing with, say, speech sound disorders or some sort of speech sound pattern, that pattern doesn't just affect one speech sound. It applies to a whole group of speech sounds with shared characteristics. That thing called a natural class by folks that study language. So for example, I had my little rule about tense versus lax vowels, where a lax vowel can't be used just by itself in a CV word. You always have to have a consonant after it. That's not specific to one vowel. That's specific to the natural class of lax vowels. Okay, so the task here is if we have oo and o and ah, what characteristics do those sounds share? Well, thinking about our chart, one thing they all have is being back. And another thing they all have, actually, because we have words like su and so and, oops, I guess sa is not a word, but la, fa. They're a little rare, but we also have a tense vowel there. If we go through all of our other vowels looking for others that are back in tense, well, there are only 2 more in that back column. One is which is lax, that we just did at the end of the previous word list, and the other is that aw sound. So, for example, if we saw something clinically in oo, o, and ah vowels, though normally we don't have too many problems we see with vowels, we might also check on that aw vowel since it has shared characteristics. Suppose something that might happen, probably a little obscure in terms of actually running into it in the real world, would be like a kid with a tongue tie that has trouble retracting his tongue enough to make those back vowels, where you might need a little surgical intervention to loosen up that tongue connection underneath. All right, our next group is E, Ah, and O. Well, now we're all over the place in the chart. E is way up in the upper left, Ah is way down in the lower right, O is in the middle on the right. So now we don't have, they're not the same in terms of like the front-back dimension, they're not the same in terms of the high-low dimension, they're not the same in terms of rounding, which I didn't mention in the previous one, but maybe I should have. They are the same in terms of that tense lax dimension, so other vowels that also have this tense characteristic, all the kind of regular spelling symbols like A or oo, for example, would fit in this category as well. All right, next group is and aw, and in terms of where those are located on our chart, they are all in a strip across the middle of the chart. So they are all in the mid-height category. I might be wrong on that, actually, because aren't the and the aw mid-low? So it's not that. It's not front versus back, because one is front, one is central, and one is back. It's not rounding, because only the aw is rounded. So I guess that leaves us with only the lax characteristic as what they all share. That's not true either, though, because aw is not a lax vowel. Oh my, I need to fix this. Needs fixing. Oh, okay. No, it doesn't. Be tempted to go back and re-record this, but I'm not going to, because we can just make mistakes and go, okay, duh, and fix it, or maybe we can't. Because I was thinking, oh, well, we have the unrounded, which we don't think about very much, but of course the aw is rounded, so they don't share any characteristics. Really? Did I do that? Did I do that on purpose? Did I do that by mistake? I don't know at this point. Today's been a funky day, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. So plus what? Plus nothing. Probably needs to be fixed. But I won't do that right now, because got enough going on today. All right, next up we have E and A and A. Those are all in the left column of the chart, so that puts them in the front category. E and A are tense, but A is lax, so they don't mix there. They're at different heights, but because they're front, they're also unrounded. It's not very informative, though, because that's a little bit redundant in that case, but technically it's a shared characteristic. So other front unrounded vowels, well, any of the other front vowels. So we've got in there that we didn't cover, and we've got in there that we didn't cover. All right, last but not least, we've got and and aw. So and aw are in the back column, but is in the central column. They're at different heights, because is mid-high, is just plain old mid, and aw is mid-low. They're a mix of tense and lax as well, because is lax, but and aw are tense. So my only characteristic that's left is rounding, and they do indeed share that. So lots of other rounded vowels like oo and o that we could lump in there as well. All All right, so this is a fairly common thing to worry about in speech sound patterns, phonological patterns with sounds. Clinically, we probably run into that more in terms of consonants than we do vowels, but in theory, the same sort of stuff is involved, and as I already mentioned before, we do have that one sound pattern with tense lax vowels that's kind of useful for differentiating them. Those characteristics are potentially relevant to understanding sound patterns in English and for other languages in those languages as well. All right, second page of this lab is some transcription practice, though from a vowel perspective, it's focused on that slightly tricky ah versus aw distinction. So I thought it might be helpful to give you a few extra examples to look at and think about. So first word is pond, pond, pond. That's got the ah vowel in it. Second word is fought, fought, fought. That's got the aw vowel in it. Third word is copper, copper, copper. That's got the ah vowel in it. Stress on the first syllable. It's not copper or something like that. So unstressed second syllable, that ER ending, almost always the unstressed version of the Third word is chronic, chronic, chronic. That's another example of the ah vowel. And then it's not chronic or something like that, so stress is on the first syllable. I would expect most of you to do like I did there and put an I in the transcription. So the stress issue wouldn't necessarily matter, but again, for most situations, I'm good with or there as well. All right, next up we've got talker, talker, talker. That is the aw vowel. And again, that final generally unstressed. Not something like tucker. And despite the L in the spelling, no L in pronunciation. Talker, not talker, or some such thing. All right, next up we've got coffee, coffee, coffee. Another example of that aw vowel. And then second syllable, fee, with an E. Next word is crawfish, crawfish, crawfish. At least that's how I say that. I've heard some variation. But if that's the pronunciation you get, aw vowel in that case. Crawfish is one of those kind of odd words that has about equal stress between the two halves. That thing is called a spondee. There's a few of those, like baseball. Baseball season just started, where it's, in many cases, two different words that have been kind of stuck together to make a compound word, and stress hasn't really changed between each of the words separately. All right, next up we've got pond, 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 which has the aw vowel in it, and is actually a minimal pair, just one sound difference with the first example up here, pond. So, case where I have two different sounding words with an aw contrast being the only difference between them. All right, next up we have sauna, 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 with the aw vowel. And last but not least, we have phonics, phonics, phonics. Stress on the first syllable, an ah vowel there, and then again for the second syllable, I'd expect most of y'all to transcribe it with an I, probably why it's spelled that way with an I in the word as well. But I would take the schwa transcription there, or the transcription, though I wouldn't expect to see it. Technically, I'd take it on the previous word, sauna, as well, though I'd be pretty surprised to see anything other than the schwa there in general. All right, last but not least, in addition to writing transcription, it's handy to be able to recognize and read transcription. So I have some examples here, starting again slightly easier with monosyllabic words. We've had some examples like that before. So my I diphthong gives me the word rise, another example of an S spelling that has a Z sound. This one looks like clem, but that would be claim with the letter E transcription symbol representing the A vowel. Next one has the AR, R sequence in it, so harsh, harsh. Next up, we've got the E vowel, so that's preach with the ch affricate at the end there, one of our fancier consonant symbols. Next up, we've got the open O and R combination. That's our OR, R colored vowel, so that's floored. Next up, we've got an ing sequence in there, so that's finger. Next up, we have an example starting out with a schwa, so second syllable stressed, j, st. So example of both our vowels in there, one stressed, one unstressed. Just. Next up, balance, balance. Next up, unstressed first syllable, surround, surround. If I were to give you surround as a word to transcribe, I'd be okay with the transcription either containing that R in it or not, because you've kind of already got the R from the sir part. One of those things where, you know, how do you chop the speech up into pieces? All right, second to last word has the air, R colored vowel sequence in it. It's got that ing final ending, so we've got caring. And last but not least, unstressed initial syllable, nam, and ick, dynamic. Some folks might say dynamic, but dynamic, perfectly acceptable way to say that word, say in a long dynamic sentence. Doesn't sound odd to me. Alright, so that's your lab 6 with a variety of vowel practices around things that will pop up on your transcription exam or on your multiple choice part of your exam. Oops, need to stop the recording.